shaken out at the moment with 30 laps remaining.
Yeah, and as we get sorted out here, still a handful of drivers that have not come down pit road. 10 or so. Ryan Messer going to come down in the one car as well. But right now, Daddio holding on to the lead. Corey Casagrande in the 7 car going to come down. Scott McDonald, Dan Winter. They're seeing just how much quicker these tires can make this car. So they all want a piece of that action for sure.
Yeah, and some feel goods are going to be feeling real good here very shortly. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how things play out here, that they can make it the rest of the way. Anyone that's pitted can make it the rest of the way on fuel at this point. So here comes Daddio down pit road to give up the lead. Mike Hopkins is going to take the top spot for the time being. But we have, yeah, I mean, if the race goes green, will they come back down under green again and potentially give up that track position? Or will they have to conserve on these tires? That's kind of the unknown right now. Obviously, if we have another yellow and it comes like maybe not late in the race, but in the middle to closing stages, yeah, we might see some of these guys just all come down for 4 tires and fresh rubber.
Working on getting all the kinks worked out here. It's live TV. Every once in a while, it tries to throw us through a little bit of a loop here. And there you can see the leaders coming back off pit road. This is going to cycle out in a big way here, and it's tough to kind of keep up with all the different strategies. 2 tires versus 4 tires. Did you take a little bit of time here to kind of work on damage on that race car? Because you don't have any quick repairs here anymore. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on as well. And as we kind of look through the track right now, there's your leader, Adam Henry, in the number 62 car, holding on to it, but on old tires for sure. As you can see, there's a couple of guys getting on around him that are going to get their laps back the hard way. Glessner and Zane Farrell there in the 14 car down the bottom side.
Yeah, Farrell and Glessner had to make a kind of a quick decision there on which way they were going to go. They both decided to split the 62 there, and with that closing rate, when you're on fresher tires at a track like this, it's noticeable right there as Henry, it looks like he's going to get ready to come down pit road this time by. And I think besides Salvatore, it's pretty much cycled around for the most part. Henry down pit road. Salvatore now, Arcel, I think, actually was one of those drivers that pitted during that first yellow. And that's why he was further back in the field. And that could be why he's been able to stay out a few extra laps. We were talking about that during that first yellow. Brandon Uhouse also yet to pit. Bobby Ship, DJ Gerard currently running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. John Peters rounding out the top 5. So when this all cycles around, we're going to have the same leader once again. Actually, the same top 2 as Ryan Libby currently rides in 6th.
And as you can see, just all the way around the racetrack, lots of room between these drivers as we have 25 laps to go in the Nitro Designs 65. There's a little side-by-side action. Kibbe sliding on up into the 7th position. Hey, guess who he's trying to chase down right now? Libby.
Libby and Kibbe show once again. But we saw he got around Keith Lord, who did pit already. We saw him down pit road earlier. I don't know if that was like kind of a short pit, maybe taking on 2 tires instead of 4, and taking on fuel only or something like that. The Cha Lord, as I see it says on the side of number 17 NH. But to find out the backstory on that, I'm sure I know what it's regarding. One driver that's not in the field tonight, Charles Lewandowski, I'm sure it has something to do with that. But Keith Lord, North Carolina resident over the last few months, he's been traveling all over the place spotting for racers, including Spencer Davis that sometimes joins us on NEP Night in America. But right now, here comes Arcel down pit road. He's going to give up the lead. Brandon Uhouse is going to take the lead. I'm sure we'll see him down pit road very shortly as well.
Yeah, looks like Arcel trying that extra high line. Got a lot of white paint, a little bit of damage on the right side of that number 12 machine. As you can see, they jack up the right-hand side. DJ Gerard down on pit road, as is Bobby Ship. As you mentioned, the 0 car coming to a stop, and Brandon Uhouse holding on to the lead. He's got some damage all the way around that number 3 YRD machine. He's going to get that lap lead. He's going to come get some tires and probably beat on some of that virtual sheet metal to see if he can get it straightened out a bit.
Yeah, I think he wanted to have some TV time to show off that YRD number 3. Now that he's the YRD is the title sponsor for the series, but back up front now it's John Peters, and he can't kind of rest very long though because Ryan Libby is still within a second of him. As Kenny Kibbe tries to chase down Libby at the moment. But Ryan Libby's got some comfortable room there at the moment, a lap car between the two, and he's going to try to chase down the 09 of John Peters.
Keith Lord back in that 4th position. Overall, biggest gainer of the night, gained 23 spots so far on the evening. Has a couple more spots he can improve that by, too. So a little bit of time left, 21 laps to go here in Las Vegas. You see the 3-car coming off of pit road. Doesn't look like they fixed too much of the damage, so they just probably threw some tires on, and they're going to let Juhasz figure out what he can do in these last closing laps here. There's Bollier taking a peek down on the bottom side in that 56, driving in deep, coming off that corner hard. Going to take that spot away from Lord in the 17.
Yeah, that was quite the move right there, and they were able to stay off of each other, though, and Lord's going to try to come back here, but I think he's going to then follow the 56 and stay there in the 5th spot for the time being. Talking about the big mover, it's Keith Lord, but we were talking about the previous big mover, Regan Parent. He's way back in 17th spot now. I'm not sure what happened down on pit road to the 117. Might have to find out post-race of what's going on there, as he was really marching towards the top 5 earlier. Now he's mired back in the field.
Yeah, you can see he's got a long way to go to try and catch up to the back bumper, the 44 of Scott McDonald, and give himself a shot to kind of break into that top 15 once again. But speaking of that top 15, from 10th on back to about 15th, it's getting a little bit dicey here. There's Hopkins in the 78. Brent Roy's up in there. Austin Belke, haven't mentioned him too much here this evening in that 24 car, but he's up in the mix. Dale Glessner in the 10 car. He's kind of leading this pack just a little bit. All these guys trying to break themselves into the top 10 here.
Yeah, definitely. Mike Hopkins having a pretty good run. He said that kind of his goal was to have just a solid top 15 run this evening and stay out of trouble. Right now, he's doing it. I know, though, when we've talked about it before, that it's kind of gone haywire, and things are getting pretty close right now, actually. Dale Glessner slipping way back through the field. He was up in the top 5 earlier. Your pole sitter is now outside the top 10, and he continues to lose ground. It looks like some damage on the rear of that number 10.
Yeah, you can see Belke gets by and crosses up in front. He's able to take that spot from him, and we ride on the nose of the 10 car, and you're exactly right. A little bit of crumpled up corners, both rear corners, it looks like. So the back bumper on that 10 car may be used up and maybe affecting the handling of that car. You can see Johnny Miller down in the 6 car, having a solid day, trying to break in to this top 10 with the rest of the group here.
Yeah, Johnny Miller's having a good run, and he's off to a decent start to start off this season with those white rims in the number 6, and he's trying to also knock on the door of a top 10 finish right there. Scott McDonald also right there. Sometimes we don't see him, and sometimes until near the end of the race, and then he's knocking on the door of a solid finish. So Scott McDonald trying to do the same as he's done before, and he's trying to find a way by both Jason Ricker and Dale Glessner.
15 laps to go, checking in with our leader, John Peters, 3/4 of a second lead over Ryan Libby in that 46 car. And you can see still playing white on that Supra. No sponsors on that. It almost makes me wonder if they did that with some kind of like whiteboard paint or vinyl, and they just had a bunch of dry erase markers down in the garage area. But then I remember this is NEP. That's probably not a good idea.
Yeah, that's a way to get the kids involved, I would think. But but right now, Ryan Libby's still doing a good job. Maybe the lack of all those sponsors and decals on that car makes this car faster. And maybe along with colored rims, that I've always said big numbers are worth a tenth or two. You never know. But Ryan Libby right now still solidly within a second of John Peters. We'll see here as we go down the stretch if he's got anything for that 09 car.
Yeah, and Libby's able to focus on the back bumper of the 09 to study those lines that Peters is running, because it's a little bit further on back to Kenny Kibbe. There you can see that 4 car having a solid run up in that 3rd position. He's gained 12 spots overall this evening so far. Bollier in behind him in that 56 ride. Had a good qualifying effort. Qualified in third, been in the top 5 all night long. Steve Daddio, same story for that 99 car. Nope, qualified outside the top 10, and he's running 5th right now. So Daddio on the move. We talked about Ryan Messer earlier on as well. He was up in the top 5. Right now running in 6th with Keith Lord right a few cars back here as oh, there we go, the 17 car. Clicked the wrong button. It's only live TV. Keith Lord back here as well. Corey Casagrande solidly in the top 10. Zane Farrell right behind him in the 14, and Brent Roy holding on to that 10th spot. But man, that 78 car above Mike Hopkins might have something to say about it.
Yeah, he's turning up the aggression just a little bit in that 78 machine, and he's all over the back of the 26 of Brent Roy to get into the top 10. I don't believe Mike's had a top 10 finish this season. I'm trying to bring up the stats, but for some reason I'm having trouble seeing that on my screen. But Mike Hopkins, yeah, right now he's looking for his first top 10 of the season. Quite a few drivers looking for their first top 10 and currently in position for it. Ryan Libby has not finished top 10 so far this season. So basically, some of these drivers trying to turn their seasons around after a rough start to the first few events. And some playing catch up, had to miss an event early in the season. Like we said, we're not doing any kind of substitutes this season, and instead it's going to be a one drop race. So the points, they're kind of moving up and down and all around, but we're going to have to see how it all shakes out as we continue down the stretch with the season. Maybe kind of as we turn the page on the actual the physical calendar, that's kind of probably when we're going to start seeing who's hot and who's not when it comes to the 2023-2024 season.
Yeah, to kick things off this season, doing a little pre-race thunder and the award show, we talked to a lot of drivers, Evan Bollier, John Peters, a couple of notables that started the season knowing they were going to miss a couple of races here. As you can see, Uhouse trying to take advantage of those couple lap fresher tires in the 3 car. Got a long way to go, though. He's got to get around the leader 2 more times if he wants to lead this race, and I don't know if he's got enough time to get it done with 8 laps to go. There you can see Libby trying to get focused, trying to kind of close in, but it's 1.2, 1.3 seconds back from that leader, John Peters, and he's pretty much doing his homework. He's kind of put it on replay. He's won this race 2 times at this racetrack in these Xfinity cars, and he's trying to make it a perfect 3.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, he's once again, like we were talking about the first cycle before pit stops, you know, Libby stayed within a second and everything, and then all of a sudden later in the run, Peters has been able to stretch it out, and that seems to be happening again as he's almost a second and a half ahead of Libby. Somehow, despite leading the way and having to set the pace, he's able to conserve and keep that field pretty far behind him. As there you see his lap times in the most recent laps, and actually there's the difference. Peters running about a little, probably about an average of a tick under a tenth faster than Libby on each lap as they continue to go by. That time by it was a little closer, but right now John Peters setting the pace, and he looks to be on his way to another Las Vegas victory.
Heading on down into 3 and 4 for that 09 car. Again, just trying to put this race on a repeat once again. Gets the high five from Barney up in the flag stand. 5 laps to go in tonight's Nitro Design 65, presented by 229 Autosports. And how about that? A 229 Autosports driver leading, not even leading this race, dominating. That 09 car's been quick all night long here.
Yeah, for sure. And we saw him get out to the front right from the get-go, despite strutting on the outside front row. And he's been using that sort of middle to outside line to his liking. Is Mike Hopkins down pit road? I'm not sure what's going on here. He was running in 11th spot, so something going wrong with the 78. I mean, I don't think we're going to really see a round of pit stops here with only 4 laps to go. So tough break for Mike Hopkins in the 78. He looked to be on his way to a potential top 10 finish. Meanwhile, John Peters stretched it out to about 1 3/4 second, might be even to 2 seconds before this race is over. if it continues with this trend.
Yeah, the racetrack spread all the way out here at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. 3 laps to go for John Peters, trying to pull off the hat trick, trying to win his 3rd race at Las Vegas and be the only driver to win at Las Vegas in NEP history so far in the young 5-season career of the NEP series, and doing it in dominating fashion. Led most of the laps. We had that pit road exchange there where a couple of drivers stayed out a little bit longer, try and take advantage of track position and do a couple of different gambles here. You see Libby there as well. He got back around U-House in that 3 car, so 3 not going to be able to get back on the lead lap. Kenny Kibbe back in 3rd as well, so a little bit of breathing room in between these drivers. There's Evan Boyer in the 56 car, Steve Daddio in the top 5 as they run, but there's popsicle sticks already. 2 laps to go for Peters, and he's got a little bit of lap traffic in front of him now.
Yeah, it could sometimes come into play as long as he just approaches it here smoothly. You never know, though, when some of these these slower cars could kind of do something unpredictable. But Peters is going to come around to take the white flag. He's going to take a pretty conservative line here around Kyle Casagrande, and he's going to be able to get by. I don't know if he's going to catch the next car that's on the track in time, which I think is Hopkins back out there. But right now, this is Peters' race to lose, as he's more than 2 seconds ahead of Ryan Libby at this point. John Peters kind of on cruise control now, as he's going to come around and take the checkered flag 3 for 3 at Vegas.
Toying with us a little bit. You saw he pretended to get loose coming out of 4. He's like, just kidding. we got this. The 09 car coming home with a dominant victory here in the Nitro Design 65 presented by 229 Autosports. We're going to talk to our winner. We're going to talk to Libby. We're going to talk to Kibbe here in the post-race, but we got to take a peek at the finishing order as these drivers come across the line and get everything officially unofficial lined up. But a quick race here at Vegas. Couple just that quick caution early on and a little bit of strategy throughout the evening. 2 tires, 4 tires, but all in all, a pretty solid race here, Aaron.
Yeah, I thought we were going to have some issues there right from the get-go with that early yellow, and could have seen some yellow fever, but nope, not the case, as it was clean and green the rest of the way. We had a great race right there as John Peters takes the win over Ryan Libby, Kenny Kibbe, Evan Boyer, and Steve Daddio round out the top 5. Messer, Casagrande, Ford, Roy, and Miller rounds out the top 10. And Paul, I think you're with the big winner.
Indeed, I am. What do they call it when you win 3 in a row? A hat trick. John Peters, 3-time champion, 3-time winner here at Las Vegas. Dominating race here tonight, John. How we feeling?
Paul, what's happening? Feels good. Excited to get the win tonight. This is one of my favorite tracks, and I recognize it wasn't probably the most exciting race ever, but full of strategy from our end and trying to hit marks and make sure I pace myself throughout the run. And had some good battles there with couple guys throughout the race that put the pressure on, but it was just fun. It's a good, clean race, and happy to come out with a win.
And one of the drivers, you were one of the drivers earlier on in the season, knowing you were going to kind of start season 5, missing a couple of races, but still looking pretty good in the points column here. What's kind of going through the mindset in the 09 camp? Are we going out for wins every time we get to the racetrack? Are we kind of still looking at the points?
Definitely still going for wins every week, but yeah, I mean, we're keeping an eye on how things shake out there. I only missed the one at Hickory last race. That should be the only race I miss for the rest of the year. So with the drop race we're doing, I think we're actually going to be okay. I saw one standings with the drop that we were like 5th or something like that. So I think it'll change a lot as the season goes on and guys start to factor in their drops if they have bad weeks or if they miss their own races. So I probably won't pay too much attention to that till we get later on, but it's just fun to come out here and do this on Thursdays and feel like a hero for 45 minutes and try to win a race. And we'll see where all that shakes out. I know there's some guys this year that'll be pretty strong, and we'll have a good battle for it.
I believe that's 28 career wins in the NEP series. I may be incorrect on that. We'll have to double check, but doing it in dominating fashion here at Las Vegas. And we know you don't do it alone, virtually the 09 car and the real racing stuff. Who gets you to and from the racetrack?
Thanks to you guys for doing the broadcast. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thanks to NEP. Thanks to Nitro Designs for sponsoring tonight. 229. Thanks to my wife and my 2 dogs for letting me do this. my mom for watching, and then everybody who supports G&G's Gift. We're proud of what we do as a family and appreciate everyone's support with that. And looking ahead to some exciting couple months with that program and getting to announce another winner coming up here beginning of next year. So looking forward to that and looking forward to our next race, wherever that may be.
Yeah, off week for Thanksgiving, but we'll be back in 2 weeks' time here on VidaneTV, and that's going to be a whole lot of fun. But John, congratulations, man! Celebrate with the crew.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good night.
A little bit further on down pit road, Aaron has caught up with that second place finisher of Ryan Libby in the 46 car.
Yeah, Ryan Libby bringing it home to a solid second place finish. And Ryan, we see you towards the front in several of these races, but unfortunately, some things often don't go your way. But tonight they did. Are you pretty ecstatic with the podium run?
I was extremely ecstatic with the qualifying result, and then with about 10 to go, I'm like, I don't even care if I finish 10th. I just want to finish the damn race right now, you know. But a lot has to do with my coming on pit road and most of the mistakes were on me. I did have a little bad luck this year, but definitely not in a points race right now. But tip of the cat to John Peters. He drove a great race. It's really hard to pass here. He did everything what he had to do to keep cars behind him, and the cars just get so tight behind people. It's so hard to pass. But I'm extremely happy with the result tonight.
Yeah, I was going to ask what additionally did you need, or what would have needed to happen to have something for that 09 car down the stretch?
If we had a late race caution, my strategy was, at the beginning of the race, I knew it was going to be really hard to pass. And there's a few times I could have pushed the issue on John, but John and I raced really clean, and I really didn't want to do that to him. So, if I was there, I'm sure he would have let me have it too. But I mean, we're just, two hard racers just going at it. And, once he got out front, I knew, all right, maybe on the pit stop, I could race hard, get up to his bumper, maybe let him use up a little of his stuff. And then if I could get by him again and I could do what he was doing and kind of not blocking the lane, but just, blocking the lane where the cars just get so tight from running behind someone. But if we had a late race caution and everyone took tires, I mean, it was game on from there. Top 6 or 7, it's anyone's shot there. But I think that's what we really needed was a late race caution.
Yeah, all in all, a good run for you though, and I know there's blank quarter panels on that white Supra, but I'm sure you got plenty of people to thank.
Yeah, I just got to thank everyone here at NEP. You guys put on a great league, and you guys for broadcasting. I always love watching VidaneTV when it's on, and you guys just do a really great job. And I don't know, maybe with this good run, maybe we'll have a sponsor next week.
Yeah, maybe. And Paul is further down with the driver that always seems to be right there with Ryan Libby, and that's Kenny Kibbe, third place finisher.
Indeed, I am. And one of the biggest gainers of the night, up 12 spots from qualifying 15th, it looks like, finishing in the third spot. Kenny, talk to us.
Yeah, I just put us in a deep hole. I messed up qualifying out of turn 2, and I was super confident coming in. We got the pole here last year and ran really well, but yeah, that put us in a rough spot. Completely changed my strategy from then on. So had to just kind of be methodical about things, take my time, try to save my stuff, but make up some passes. And like Ryan was saying, it was tough to pass, but we got it done for the most part. And then didn't want to go on some weird pit strategy, just kind of wanted to pit when the leaders did. So we did that, executed that pretty well. And then from then on, the field was so spread out that we just kind of settled in, and we gained from the pit cycle, which is what I just wanted. And then just kind of rode it home in third, which I'm really happy for considering where we started.
Absolutely, and definitely a solid points night here as well, finishing in front of Ryan Messer, who was the points leader, and Jason Ricker, who had not quite a stellar night here tonight. So points definitely going to be on the mind for the 4 camp for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of race by race basis. I think there might be some races later on in the season I miss. So I'm just trying to have fun with it, go out for wins and things like that. But it's been a solid start considering. I mean, Hickory was pretty much a disaster, but other than that, we've run pretty well.
It was an entertaining disaster. But lots of decals on that virtual 4 machine. Who gets you to and from the virtual racetrack?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank everybody here at NEP, you guys at VidaneTV for the broadcasts. Wired Designs was the new title sponsor, and Brandon Newhouse, he painted that number 4 car you see out on there on the racetrack. So thanks to him for that. And thanks everybody at 4 Wide Weaponry, our teammates, always making it a fun time every week. And thanks also to everybody that rides on board with me every week.
Solid 3rd place finish for Kenny Kibbe in that number 4 car, and that's going to put a cap on the Nitro Design 65 presented by 229 Autosports here tonight. Aaron, great race here at Las Vegas.
Yeah, for sure. And good way to send us off into the holiday, the Thanksgiving holiday. We'll be taking a couple weeks off from being at the virtual racetrack, but I know you and I are going to be at the actual racetrack here coming up down in sunny Florida. So looking forward to that. And I think it's srlracing.tv that will be streaming what we'll be doing. So pretty excited about that. Come check it out if you're if you want to have some Thanksgiving weekend fun.
Hell yeah, brother. Heading on down to the Freedom Factory. How cool is it to have a couple of VidaneTV guys working on some real racing production stuff? That's going to be a whole lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. And then we're coming back and we're hitting the ground running. TCM's got a pair of races the week after Thanksgiving. That's going to be a lot of fun. The Turn 4 podcast iRacing series is going to be kicking off here in 2 weeks from yesterday. So that's going to be a lot of fun. The 29th of November going to be the first race for those guys. And oh, by the way, NEP's right back here in Vidane in 2 weeks' time. So be sure to pay attention to the social media outlets, Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. We're on all of them. Like us, subscribe to us, share us, and let your friends and family know you watched yourself a little bit of iRacing action here on VidaneTV. But that's going to do it here for us tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in wherever you tuned in from. We'll catch you on the flip side. And when we do, we are going to be doing it live.